Good evening.
Good evening.
We are here, and once again, it is our great pleasure to be in your reality. It was a nice slice of silence that we entered into. You just made that space. Usually that space happens after a gonging, you know. Anyways, it's good that you can modulate your energy. So the spring equinox, the Easter bunny's on its way. The chicks are hatched, yes? So, and the energies are balanced. That is what equinox brings. Vernal in the spring and the autumn, twice a year. They reset you, sort of rebalancing you, rebooting you, however you want to describe it. There's something happens to all the creatures on Earth and all the land, and it feels this sense of shift. The modulation, the even balance of light and dark has a profound effect on your consciousness. And in the autumn, as the sun starts to decline, your body responds. Now, today in the spring, the sun is going to rise higher, quicker and faster. And in conjunction with everything that is happening, this is going to be a stupendously awesome, quick-paced spring. Many things will be stirred up. Not only are the modulation of light and the growing of light call forth nature to burst into its own being, its own bloomingness, but so too will people, animals, all the creatures are affected by all the influences that are joining forces. And what is interesting, that many of you have been with us from the beginning of the nanosecond, which is quite nice. Many of you have joined on over different periods of time, and that goes for those here at home and those out in tape land. And what we want to share with you is that the progression is definitely followed a certain path. And phase 3, where you are now located, is moving fast and furious. And, you know, back in 1990, 95, even 2000, the year 2010 and 2012 seemed like they were 50 years away. Not just a few years. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. And we used to say to you, oh, when you get in that phase, it's going to go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And everything that you have invested in and everything that you learned, you will be tested on. So we can fairly say to all of you and to all of our listeners out there in Mystery Land, this is the test. The spring equinox brings the test. Not that you haven't been tested up until now, but as George elucidated in his P Times article, he delineates all the energetic changes between the planets. But we also remind you that we speak of energy that comes from far beyond the influences of the dance of the planets. And so everything is going to intensify. That is where the multiples of 100,000-fold come in. And what you have been living, every decision that you make about yourselves, whether it is to plant yellow pansies or orange pansies, whether it is to cook elbow macaroni or to have spaghettis, do you follow? Mm-hmm. Or whether it is to drink enough water or to skip it, or to get out and do some work or to just snuggle up with the computer. Every decision that you make is extraordinarily pivotal to how you will dance in these next 2 years. Say 2010 and 2011, you go to the spring of 2012, 2 years from now. And then you will have about 9 moons that you will be counting down to December. So we want to emphasize to everyone that what you have invested in is your mind, yourself. And there are things in life that you have come here to heal. We've always reminded you, and we re-emphasize it again, that part of growing in consciousness and becoming more aware involves opening the chakras so that you have more sensitivity. It involves autonomy so that you learn to find your own answers. Granted, we have been guiding you for years, but we do not tell you what to do. We have given you methodologies of how to figure things out. We are saying the crunch is coming. Last class we spoke to you, it was called what? The big shake-up, yes? We could name this one the big breakup, but we won't be redundant. Do you understand? We could call it This is the Test. Not a test, the test. Because as things go faster and faster, there's more to contemplate, and there's more power in your thinking, your actions, and of course, what you have set into motion throughout this life and other lifetimes is going to come back to you faster and faster and faster. And people are already being more than befuddled. Levels of functional insanity have reached, well, let's say they just keep reaching higher and higher. It seems there's no ceiling on it. People are losing their sense and their grip of reality. They're not sure, is the computer world real? Or is it the real world? In the real world, whatever you want to call the real world, looks as if it's totally topsy-turvy. You're in the United States, your government is getting ready to pull some fast ones, so to speak, and to ram or jam some legislation through that is not in anyone's, well, we cannot say anyone's, it is in some people's interest, because certainly your system is set up in such a way that when people get sick, the insurance companies don't want to cover them. What you call that pre-existing condition or some such. And for those who want to believe that system, there needs to be a greater fairness in it. But what's happening is that these laws are supposedly being passed that have immutable rights, meaning that they can never be changed, and supposedly everyone is going to be taxed or penalized if they do not have this insurance. How much further will humanity be pushed? A few months ago it was the screener machines, so that you could see, you have to pass through and have your body seen naked. What else is coming? What other rights are going to crunch in the midst of a time when individuals are going to awaken this spring? And awaken they will. It will be a full blossoming around the world. A full blossoming of consciousness. And some will gain great wisdom. But as we've said to you, not everyone is equal. You all deserve equal rights. But you know, spirit has to grow through its incarnations. And so some are more gifted than others. Some have learned faster. Because it's all a matter of learning. Not resisting learning, recognizing wisdom. And so this is the test. Everything that you are dealing with now is the test of consciousness. To see if what you have invested in, that you can truly apply. And we ask you to value the time, the money, the energy that you have put into our work and all the things that you have invested in to know. And we speak to those who believe that they are approaching this super ultra acceleration with some information and states of knowing. And so your tests are going to be, we'll not say austere, because you have gained some wisdom. But if you do not apply that wisdom, the fall will be greater than those who know nothing. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. You have a story about a fallen angel, yes?
Yes.
And it is interesting terminology, fallen. Do you understand?